Okay, I'm not taking a shot for this review this time because I'm basically winding down the clock before I can go see X-Men Days of Future Past, and I kind of need to be able to drive. But here we go, 5-minute timer. So, this time I'm covering Quick Change, which is a film that I had certainly never heard of before I set out to watch all of Bill Murray's films. It's sandwiched in between two very well-known films of his, and it's noticeable because it is the only film for which he has a director credit, which was technically a co-director credit with his friend, oh gosh, here's where I look bad, Howard Franklin, I believe is his name. It is a comedy film, and it has a pretty good cast. Bill Murray co-stars in it with Randy Quaid and Geena Davis, and there's also Tony Shalhoub, Phil Hartman, Jamie Sheridan, Jason Robards is the main, I guess he would be the protagonist and they're the antagonists in this case. Because the film is that they rob a bank. He dresses up as a clown, which is where you get the image that you see on the posters and DVD covers and stuff like that, to rob this bank. And then Geena Davis and Randy Quaid are two basically hostages in there, and they end up escaping. He takes off his clown makeup and pretends to be a hostage that's being let out. And then they proceed to try and leave the New York City where it's set, go to the airport and escape to an island somewhere and live off of the money for the rest of their days. But the movie and the novel, as I understand it, that it's originally based on, is basically a loving jab at New York City. Because they're trying, but there's construction, there's all these people on the street, there's all these crazy characters, there's a cab driver who does not speak a word of English, so on and so forth. So it's not exactly your laugh out loud, uproarious comedy. It's sort of a comedy where just nothing is going right for the people, and you know, it's just a bunch of absurd things that keep happening. So I mean, I'm not sorry I watched it. I wouldn't say it was fantastic. It certainly didn't really have me like laughing a whole lot. It was more just like, oh yeah, okay, that's amusing. Murray's performance is maybe a little more subdued than what we see. There's one little moment where he kind of goes and flirts with Geena Davis's character, where it's that usual wise ass, you know, crossing the line kind of thing. For the most part, the two of them do have a private relationship, so he's not a complete pig about it. He's mostly just a guy who is sick and tired of the city and has come up with this plan to get the money and just get the hell out. So I have a feeling it would be the kind of movie that would mean a lot more if you were more familiar with the city, if you lived there, you know, or maybe at least spent a lot of time there. Being that I only know of New York City from films for the most part, I'm a little out of the loop. I mean, it seems authentic from what I've seen, but of course what you see in the reality is never always quite what you get. But overall, yeah, I'm glad I saw it. I can't say that there's anything in this where it's like, oh, that's Bill Murray's direction. It's pretty basic directing for a comedy film. There's nothing that really stands out. I don't really think that it was a matter of like he wanted to direct as much as, if I remember correctly from reading, they couldn't find anyone to direct it that they wanted to direct it. So they were just like, well, we really want to get this film made, we're going to do it ourselves, kind of thing. So that's probably why you've never seen him direct again, because that's not really what he's about. He's much more an actor, and he's more interested in taking a script and making a performance and enhancing it and so on and so forth. So I really don't think that directing was his thing, and that's probably why we've never seen him do it again. But, you know, overall I would say this is definitely, I would recommend it. I mean, you don't have to go out of your way to find it, but I do think it is a nice little film. It's only an hour and a half. It's got a lot of good cast, a lot of good performances, and it's definitely worth your time.